Hi everybody, I'm Bree the Plant Lady, and today I am at the Cape Fear Botanical Garden in Fayetteville, North Carolina, doing a very special cottage garden seeding project. Now with me today, I have a very special guest. Introduce yourself.
I'm Amy Stidham, and I'm here as the Senior Horticulture Manager, and we're welcoming Bree here to do an exceptional planting so that we can involve our community in some education as we invest in our community to bring them out here and show them the Heritage Garden as it was in the 1880s. Heritage Garden is right next to the main building, and it's over the bridge, and our buildings out here are from the 1880s.
This is my favorite part of the Botanical Garden. Every time I come, I gravitate to this area. It's like an original homestead. And you've got a great vegetable space already created. You've got a nice orchard set up. And when I was here, a month ago?
About a month ago.
Was looking at it, and I'll just confess that I see sunny square footage and I'm like, you need poppies. And so we kind of came up with a plan that involves all the cottage garden stuff, especially greens, which would have been very much present during this era when people were growing greens for themselves. It wasn't the big agricultural model that we know today. And we've got all 4 major cool season cereal greens to plant.
I'm so excited. This is going to look absolutely beautiful, and it's going to teach the community and all of our gardeners about how easy it is to plant these grains at home.
And we've got another special guest. We've got Jack.
Any riffraff around here.
Wave to YouTube.
I didn't think there was.
Everybody, stay tuned to watch our progress. I think it's going to be awesome, and
I'm really excited.
The goal of this is to take you along from the start and then encourage you all to come and visit the Botanical Garden in person so that you can see this project and all of the other gardens. This is an 80-acre property.
This is a huge property. It's beautiful.
All right, everybody, we're going to show you what seeds we're going to sow, where we're going to sow them, and then you already know the process. The only tool you need is a hard rake.
That's right.
This is not hard labor.
Let's go.
All right, we have got so many awesome seeds. So we've got barley, rye, wheat, and oats. We've got lettuce, canola oil, kale. I think these are beets. Rainbow Swiss chard, cabbage, my leftover garlic, because I can't let it get wasted. Southern curled giant leaf mustard, which is one of my favorites. We've got garnet mustard greens, which is a really beautiful burgundy. White top globe turnip. Purple top white globe turnip. Good Lord. And then we've got a bunch of different poppies, including the red corn poppies, the California poppies, and my special mix of bread seed poppies, which I have been collecting for 23 years now. We also have some carrots. We've got some crimson clover. Got some rye, some more wheat. Yeah, we've got a lot of stuff. And we have a lot of square footage to cover. You can see we've got this whole big bed here, which is nicely in full sun. And then we've got a bed over there and a big bed over there, which are more shade. So the good thing is with the shade, the leafy greens are going to be better in those locations, and they'll last a lot longer. So we'll focus the grains in the sunniest section, and then we'll do leafy greens and flowers in both, but particularly in those shady zones, because you see we've got some big high pine shade that with the sun lower in the sky, that stays pretty shady all winter, right?
Yes, it does.
Yeah, which was strategic. So, when they built houses, they did that so that the house wouldn't get too hot.
Works for the summer.
Works for the summer. And just so you all know, it was really cold this morning.
It was very cold. I had 2 more layers on.
Yes. The ground was frozen in Fuquay, and I was like, Amy, I don't know if we should start at 10. It's really cold.
And now I'm getting a sunburn.
I know. So yeah, I'm about to have a heat stroke because I have so many layers on. So there you have it. I was being overly dramatic about North Carolina winter.
There we go. We just have to know these things.
All right, everybody, we are about to get started and we've recruited another helper. Introduce yourself.
Hello, I'm Tara. I work at Cape Fear Botanical Garden and it is my first time growing grains.
And you're going to be sowing wild oats.
Coconut oats, yes.
I have what do I have? I have the barley.
Can't have beer without barley.
That's right.
And I have got rye, and we also have wheat in these smaller packages. So our plan is to do the barley and oats like an agricultural installation, kind of like a field mixed with the poppies. And then we're gonna do the rye and wheat in clumps to make it look a little bit more homeowner friendly.
Yeah.
That way everybody who visits can see both concepts.
Beautiful. Very nice.
Sounds good.
And we always start with the grains because they are the ones that can be buried the deepest. Doesn't matter if we walk over them. It's really just a logistical part of doing it. They're the tallest, so they're going to go in the more middle areas. And then we kind of work from tallest to shortest.
All right.
So, all right, everybody. Woo! All right, and to give you guys an up-close view, we have done a row of oats all the way along there, and then adjacent, we did barley. And that is kind of like a field installation. And then we have clumps alternating of rye and wheat going all the way across this border and then into the garden there that's shade right now but does get afternoon sun. And of course that's a critical component, understanding the light that you have at different times of the season. More sun for grains is going to be better. But if you have areas that are going to get more sun, later on, like in February, March, April, don't shy away. You can still plant grains and they will eventually catch up on size. So now we're going to do a nice rake over of all the seeds of the grains and we'll get started on seeding all of the greens. And of course, poppies are always the very last thing. All right, so we're moving on to getting the greens sowed and decided to make it look more mixed. We're gonna go ahead and mix the seed from the beginning so then we don't have to count on ourselves doing a good job distributing it that way because it'll be pre-mixed. So we're going to take some kale and we're also going to add beets. And then we're gonna add some rainbow chard. I love the sizes of these seeds. They're all sort of different sizes. And it's real easy to mix them up this way. I think we'll also go ahead and add some lettuce, which is a really different texture.
Teeny tiny.
It's so small, it floats in the breeze. These larger seeds will help draw it back to the ground. And then the most important part of it is the mustard. And you already have some mustard in here, which is great. We're going to add more of that garnet. But the mustard's real goal is to deter the animals, and you've got bunnies.
Yes,
right?
we do.
We got some bunnies.
If you have
Bunnies and deer.
and deer. The mustard is really, really helpful. I like eating it as well, but I grow so much of it mostly to deter those creatures.
Okay.
That is just the most practical.
And the color's pretty.
And the
too,
color,
so.
and it's super cold tolerant. And really if you go to harvest any of this, you're just gonna have the most beautiful salad greens. Like this is what people buy at the grocery store, already done.
Come
so
out and get our lunch.
Exactly. Be like, not for the visitors, only for the staff. So we'll get that well incorporated, and then we'll do another bag. That way we can work from opposite ends.
Okay.
And the goal is ground plane coverage. We want every square inch to have a plant growing on it so that there's no opportunity for weeds to get established. That is my only goal in life, is to not spend time on my hands and knees weeding.
Yeah. Amen to that. Let's do that.
All right, so now we're at the greens are all mixed, and we have a lot of square footage to cover.
Yeah, we do.
And we want to make sure we have good ground plane coverage, but we also don't want everything all piled up together. Like your original mustard installation was done probably with a cedar, and everything was really tight. And we want to give everything a little bit of space to be able to commingle, so not be as close together as that original installation was. So we're going to use the bowling method.
Okay, what's that? I want to know.
And I call it this, and then I'm like, I don't even know if I'm a good bowler. Like, nobody might even want me on their bowling team. But it's where you take a handful and you get it in a position, and then
Just throw it as
you
far
throw
as
it
you
as
can.
far as you can.
Oh,
and you
okay,
see how
easy.
the seed kind of distributed
Scattered,
itself
yeah.
evenly. And that's kind of what you want to do, and then you just sort of walk to that space and start throwing the next. In here, we don't really need to compete with the grains, so you don't need to overseed where the barley and oats went. Just go on the outside edges of that. And the nice thing here, and I mentioned shade a few minutes ago, the greens are much easier to cultivate in the shade, and they actually will last longer in the spring because it stays cooler.
Right.
So we have a lot of shady section. So that's, I think, where we really want to focus the greens, because we want the flowers to go into the full sun section, because that's what they need.
Yes.
So we still want greens in the full sun bed, but we want to do the better concentration in the shady beds.
Okay, got it.
All right.
All right.
Yay.
So I'm going to start going this way.
Yes, which end do you start
And
with?
if you want to start where I started, you can do this side and then down into that bed.
If I throw it and go backwards.
Exactly. Throwing it backwards is maybe that is the easier. So, and you might do the opposite. We were just laughing about. I sent Amy this email saying we'll only need 2 hours. It's no big deal. And I was like, I bet she thinks I'm lying or that was a typo, but we're right on point, you know. That's the thing, this approach is so efficient. I wish more people would do it. That's why we're making these videos, to try and encourage smarter gardening practices that ultimately engage the ground plane, reduce weeds. All of these plants have great root systems that will actually draw nutrients up to the surface. They're winter active. The deer don't like to eat them, and then they flower and it will blow everyone's minds. So like, it's an all win. That's the bottom line. It's the best thing that anybody can do. If you're new to gardening, buy some seeds, scatter them, and watch them grow and learn from it. It's the best advice that anyone can give. And now that all the big stuff is sown, we've got the grains, we've got the greens, and we did some crimson clover. We're gonna go ahead and rake over all of the beds, and that'll be the last time that we walk or interact in these, because the next step is poppy planting. Remember, the poppies need light to germinate. They have to be right on the soil surface. So once we sow the poppies, our project is done.
These are so teeny tiny.
They really are like dust. And so this is the Papaver Reese, or the Shirley poppy, the World War II commemorative poppy. And I love that these are the all red. So that means they've been
Beautiful.
in an isolation block. Because see, the poppies at my house are all mixed together. I get all the colors. I never get to have pure one color.
So these are
And
not natural.
this,
All red.
well, they're natural. They just are grown in a place where they can't get cross-pollinated with other
I
colors.
see. How neat.
So that's what makes them very special. And Eden Brothers online is a great seed source. You got both
So great to order from them
these
too.
and the California poppies, which are a little bit bigger. You see?
Oh, look at that. Yep. I never even noticed that. How about that?
And then we have the open pollinated, meaning all colors of the rainbow, breadseed poppy, which is very similar in size to the Pephaver Reese. It's
Just
basically
like pepper.
like
Yeah.
grains of
Wow.
pepper. And that's exactly why they have to be surface sown. The smaller the seed, the less capable it is of being covered. And so that's why the poppies are always the last thing to get planted.
Got it.
Because you can't walk in the bed, you can't rake it, you can't mulch it once the poppies are sown.
So please, everybody stay out of the bed
Do
so
not
we
walk
can see
in
these
the beds,
gorgeous
please.
poppies.
And we're gonna put some measures up to prevent people from walking
we're
in
gonna
these
try that.
beds. It's the challenge of being at a public garden, everybody. Remember, when you visit a public garden, there are amazing people behind the scenes keeping the garden up. And if you can be a good steward when you are visiting, it's appreciated.
And we have amazing guests to share it with.
Yes.
It's my pleasure.
Thank you. Thank you, Bree.
All right, so now we're basically gonna bowl with
Okay.
all of these poppies.
Let's go bowling.
And the way it goes, these are the shortest, the California poppies, 12 to 15 inches tall, so closer to the borders.
Okay.
The Reese poppies are in the middle. These are going to be maybe 18 to 30 inches tall.
Wow.
And then the
Yeah.
Pephaver somniferum are the tallest. And this soil is so nice. I would expect these are going to be at least 3 foot to 5 foot tall.
Oh my gosh, I'm so
Really
excited.
beautiful, yeah.
And another reason they have to be direct seeded, they develop tap roots and they are not good at being transplanted. I'm not going to say they can't be transplanted. It's not worth your effort to try and transplant them. Just seed them where you want them to grow. And just like before, we're not worried about being too tight. There won't be any thinning that needs to be done. The plants will help prop each other up. They fill in the gaps and they make it so problem plants like chickweed can't get established. So
Good.
density is not a concern. The plants will figure it out themselves.
Okay, smart plants. Let's go.
All right.
I'm ready to bowl.
Let's do it. All right, now we're doing our garlic planting. We're doing it along the edge. We're gonna do it just kind of along this border and along that border. And I very inefficiently dumped the garlic bulbs out, so I made the job a little harder than necessary. Yeah, you know. We did it!
We did it! Yes!
That looked awesome.
And we did it in about 2 hours.
Yes, we did. That was good timing.
Because of your awesome bed prep.
Thank you.
So, thank you, Tara. Thank you.
Very welcome.
I feel like I waltz into the garden and all this magic just happens. So, what are you most excited for?
I am most excited to see the things to start germinating. I'm excited to see the color. We've got Swiss chard, mustard poppies, lots of different colors. I'm excited about the birds that are going to show up too. So it'll be exciting. It'll be really beautiful.
Well, you touched on two really important things that I don't think we talked about. First, birds. You can see we're at a highway here. In my experience, I'm in year 23 doing this. I have never had birds eat the seeds from the ground. People always ask. And we were having a discussion earlier because the birds do eat the poppy seeds when they're in the pod in the spring. And we think it's because
Bowl of seeds.
it's the convenience factor.
It's perfect. Instead of being lost on the ground.
Exactly, because you can't see the poppy seeds.
They don't have to work too hard.
They don't have to work too hard when they are ripe in the
It's a
seed
bird
pod.
feeder, ready to go. Yeah.
But at this stage, I don't think birds are a problem.
Okay.
Germination is typically 15 days, especially since we're now in what I would consider our normal weather pattern. We're not so warm,
Right.
which is great. I saw 50s and 30s for the 10 days, which is kind of amazing to have just temperatures that are equal.
Yeah.
Though I prefer warmer weather for these plants.
Seeds are happier.
Cooler is
Yes.
better. And because we had big rain over the weekend, these beds are adequately wet. They don't need to be watered. Until now, I've been frantically telling everybody don't put your sprinklers away. But I don't think you're going to need to do any irrigating here at all.
That's great. I'm so excited for that.
And I'm going to make a bet that the first things that germinate are in the brassica family. So I think the first things you'll see will be mustard and kale, maybe the rate. It'll be really interesting. I cannot
cooler
wait
weather,
to come back
Yes.
for more updates and to bring everybody else along on this project. Thanks for the opportunity.
Oh, you're
Thanks for
welcome.
the square
We
footage.
are so happy to have Bree here, and this has been wonderful. And we have a lot of great things coming up. Don't forget our holiday lights. It's this Thursday all the way, or excuse me, this Friday all the way till next Thursday. So get your tickets online at capefearbg.org.
I'm coming for solstice.
Yes, solstice, December 21st. That's our last day. So make sure you
See you
get those
soon.
tickets, come out and visit, and you're going to see this great germination in our beautiful garden, ready to grow.
Well, everybody, I hope you'll be inspired. And as always, thanks for watching. We look forward to sharing updates. Happy gardening.